Alright. Hi, everyone. It is me, Sailor Moon. And it's me, Sailor Mini Moon, or Small Moon, or Little Moon Reenie here. And today we're going to talk about, like who made the, we're going to talk about, are we onlooked in a Sailor Moon followership or not? And the grounds to why I'm going to bring this up is that there are some folks in the Sailor Moon followership who don't get along with others. Some do, some don't. And it did kind of happen, and it tend to happen more on X than it would on Euro, but whatever. So, first off, some folks didn't like it that, that DUANE, or what we do here, was offshooting from the Deep Glee Sailor Moon and Pioneer Glee Sailor Moon, I guess, or Pathseeker. And since a lot of folks don't like that Sailor Moon, or chose to not like it after they learned where it was shifted and borrowed and offshooted from, and they would give folks hate for it. They would say, oh, you're not a true Sailor Moon follower if you like the Deep Glee Sailor Moon or the Pioneer Glee Sailor Moon or whatever. And this tended to be more on X than it was. But here were the forgivenesses, for not liking the Deep Glee Sailor Moon. And this one cracks me up. This one makes me laugh every time I hear it. Oh, folks are just too lazy to learn another speech. Oh, so that's why things are being dubbed into other speeches. Since the folks out there are too lazy to learn the other speeches, so that's why it's got to be dubbed into speeches that folks understand. Yeah. Only folks who speak English, which DUANE is one of many, but only they're out there where they shame you for speaking English. An English speaker shaming someone for only speaking English by saying, oh, well, folks are just too lazy to speak, too lazy to learn another speech, and that's why it had to be put into English. Not once, but 2 times. And I think that's kind of funny. Don't you think, Sailor Small Moon? Oh, yeah, I do think it's funny that is the forgiveness that someone came up with for hating the Deep Glee Sailor Moon, the Pioneer Glee Sailor Moon, or is it Pathseeker? And then hating on Renaissance Atlantic, or would it be New Birth Great Sea Glee Sailor Moon? Yeah. Oh, that folks are just too lazy to learn another speech, so that's why it has to be put into English, So we were also on X, need be last year, I would think, or a year before that. I don't really know the date, or the month, or the year. But someone says, stop saying those names. Say the right names. Well, forgive us in the Deep Glee Sailor Moon world, and the Pioneer Glee Sailor Moon, or Pathseeker Glee Sailor Moon, which is just an offshoot of that world. Those are the right names. Sorry, but those are the right names. Those borrowed names are the right names. I mean, if you like the Danish borrowed names, great for you. And if you want to call them by those names, that's wonderful. But we'll call them by the Frenchist, Latinist, Frenchist, Latinist, Hebrewist, Blacklandish, what else? Spanish, Farsiest borrowed names out there. Forgive you, forgive us. But those tend to be more the names that were borrowed in the English than the Danish names. Sorry. And that always seems to be a forgiveness, more like gatekeeping. And you think this one is funny too, Sailor Moon? Oh yeah, Sailor Mini Moon, Small Moon, Little Moon, Reenie. I do think this one is funny when I do stop to think of it. Someone getting so irked and so angered that they think that Sailor Earth or Ernest P. Worrell as Sailor Earth was a slight on Nako Takaguchi or Takechi or however you say her kin name. I don't know. So, yeah, it was never meant to be a slight on anyone. But this was how you knew someone was in way too deep and, couldn't handle someone else's take on Sailor Moon not being the same as theirs. And we're not going to say names or handles or shit like that. But we'll just say that some folks who think they have the right to tell you what you can and cannot do in the Sailor Moon followership. And if some folks like the Toei one, wonderful. That's great. And nowadays you got the Viz one, so do you hate that too? I don't know. So anyway, yeah, there was some gatekeeping. There was some hating. And here is going to be really, truly funny for this one. And this is going kind of somewhere else. But we had a long time ago, someone had a belief that a Sonic follower was more greater than a Sailor Moon follower. I mean, how is that? I mean, first off, Sonic is one of my Deke brothers, so how could he be greater than me? And also keep in mind, too, that DUANE was told that he was besmirching Sailor Moon by what he was doing on his fairway, And some folks didn't like how things were shifted around and they weren't being law to what was said and done, either in the drawing show or in the drawing films or the books or the song plays or the film games or whatever. Can I end this now? Yeah, knock yourself, yeah. All right. Thank you, Sailor Moon. Thank you, Serena. I know they're just some of the things that DUANE had to deal with when being in a Sailor Moon followership. And maybe his take on Sailor Moon isn't the same as everyone else's take. And maybe the Sailor Moon that he likes isn't the one that everyone likes. But that's how life is. What someone likes, someone doesn't like. And it is what it is, So, but there was really no need for any of this shit. And some of these things are just laughable now when you stop to think of it. Well, here's the last one before we end this film. Never one time someone said that since Sailor Moon was going by the name of Serena instead of going by the Dawnish borrowed name Usagi, someone said, don't slight my wisdom. First off, no one's slighting no one's wisdom. If you want to call her Usagi, go right ahead. But you see, in the Deep Glee world, her name was Serena. So no, not slighting anyone's wisdom. You see, it's some of the things you got to put up with, It's laughable, that someone thought their wisdom was being slighted because they didn't like that he was calling her by her Latinist borrowed name from the Deep Glee Sailor Moon. All right, that's it. I'll see you all later. Goodbye.